Hi, everyone. Well, as we all know, it's Mother's Day today, and I was trying to think of something fun that I could talk about or we could share today. And it's also not only Mother's Day, but it's Lost Sock Day. So, yeah, today I'm going to go through my sock drawer and try to scrounge out all the single socks and get rid of that and make sure I only have actual pairs of socks. But I just wanted to share something else with you in addition to that. So let's go ahead. In 1832, Anne Marie Reeves Jarvis was born. She got married when she was 18 years old and had between 11 and 13 children over 17 years. I guess they didn't quite know how many babies she had, maybe some stillborns, but only four of these children lived to adulthood. Terrible, very sad. They died of typhoid fever, measles, diphtheria, quite an assortment of epidemics back then, and was a very difficult time. So she decided to take action in her community to combat childhood diseases and the unsanitary conditions. So that in 1858, while she was pregnant with her sixth child, she started a club. It was called Mother's Day Work Club. Now, the mothers got together, got nothing to do with what we know as Mother's Day, but she called her little club Mother's Day Work Club. And they got together to support each other and to learn about public health issues, to support each other, educate each other about diseases and community health. Her brother, who had been a doctor, helped with these ladies. He was a physician and was quite well known in the area at that time for dealing with the typhoid fever epidemics. So in 1861, now we're moving ahead a couple of years, here came the Civil War. And Virginia, where she lived, was very divided. That war was very, very difficult war, divided north and south. And Virginia was particularly struggling with this too. She and her friends, the Ladies' Work Club, they sort of shifted their emphasis on to address the division and war. They proclaimed themselves to be neutral, and in the community and in around, I don't know how war works out, but there's fighting all around, and they proclaimed neutrality, and they helped soldiers whoever they were. Whatever side they were fighting on, these ladies would help them. And in fact, one of the commanders in the military there asked them to look after the soldiers, whichever side, didn't matter, to help them with the typhoid and measles epidemic that was, pretty rampant in the soldiers at that time. So, okay, so that's good. The war was over, and she continued her efforts after the war. And her ladies group, they decided to make a Mother's Friendship Day. Well, of course, as usual, all the time there's a little bit of conflict. Not everybody was supportive of her Friendship Day or the club's Friendship Day. But they went ahead and they had this little celebration. Everybody came together, all from both sides of the fighting, both sides of the war. They all came together for this Friendship Day. I don't know, I guess there's picnics and whatever. Bands were playing and they had quite the celebration, and everybody seemed to make up friends and get along with one another. They, in fact, ended the event with everybody joining in singing Auld Lang Syne. So pretty good event. So she carried on with lecturing in churches, and she was very outspoken. She was part of the suffragette movement. She's very, very active in her community and did a lot of speaking. And but her main focus was to support and encourage mothers. Her daughter, she had a daughter, Anna. Now, this was Anne, and her daughter, Anna, was encouraged by her mom to go get an education, which she did. And she ended up attending a college and got her diploma. She went on to work in the education system. She had a very successful career and maintained a very good reputation with her mom. Now, her mom died in, 1905 at the age of approximately 73 years old. So Anne, who loved her mom very, very much, decided that she wanted to have a memorial service for her mom. So in 1906, a year later, they had a private little memorial service for her mom. Then in 1907, that was 1906, her mom died in 1905, 1906 in May, they had the private service. 1907, they had a public service. So that was in their hometown. But Anne didn't attend that public service. She sent 500 white carnations in her place. So I find that a little bit odd that she didn't go to her mom's public service in 1907. But that's okay. Just down the street in Philadelphia, there was another organized service of which 15,000 people attended. That woman was a very well-known, very much appreciated woman at that time. So now Anne thought, we better make a Mother's Day, not only focusing on her mother, but mothers. Her mom really was promoting mothers in the community and their participation in public education and public health. So she went ahead and was asking the officials to make Mother's Day in May. No, nobody agreed. However, the movement was carrying on. Privately or publicly, the communities continued with having a Mother's Day service in May every year, spread to other states and indeed into other countries. It was a growing movement. And it wasn't until 1914 that Woodrow Wilson actually made a proclamation and said, okay, everybody, this is going to be official Mother's Day, second Sunday in May, the end. And oh boy, did everybody think that was totally perfect. Especially Hallmark cards, card making people, confections, chocolate makers, florists, people that sell flowers. They all got on the bandwagon and decided that, they're going to participate in Mother's Day. While Anne, she didn't take kindly to that. She did not want to turn this into a commercial profit-making situation. So she was furious. She said, no way, no how. So she now wanted to sue these people. She was going to take them to court. All these card makers, florists, candy makers that were all promoting and making profits off of Mother's Day. All her intent was that for people to recognize their mom, pick up a pen and paper, write a little note to your mom, recognize your mom as being, your mother, and that's it. That's all she wanted. But of course, we got to make money off of it, so she spent all her money fighting, wanting to sue these companies that were making profits off of her idea, and wanted to have it rescinded. She wanted now to cancel Mother's Day. Oh my God. Which of course, clearly we know it has not been canceled. So anyway, she all her money was spent, and she, ended up with no money, living with her sister, eventually being admitted to, oh yeah, she was even arrested for disturbing the peace. She's making quite a ruckus. So she was eventually admitted to the sanitarium, where she passed away in 1948 at the age of, oh, where am I? 84, I think. Yeah, age 84 or thereabouts. And guess who paid for her funeral? Guess who paid for her burial? The card companies, the florists, the candy makers. They all pitched in and provided funds for her time in the sanitarium because she had spent all her money fighting against them. They provided for her care and her burial in 1948. Quite a story. Again, proving that what we set out initially to do can get all turned into a different direction. So anyway, I don't know if this is a happy day Mother's Day story, or it's certainly something to ponder, that mothers don't need all sorts of stuff bought for them. They don't need all sorts of attention that way. Just a nice little phone call or nice little note to say, hey, Mom, it's Mother's Day. Anyway, have a good day. We're having an all-day breakfast today. We're having breakfast for lunch, and breakfast for dinner, if that makes sense to anybody. But off we go. It's a sunshiny day. Everybody, please have a happy Mother's Day. Bye for now.